apparently just went straight to the live page, so okay, I can work with that. I was hoping to bring the intro in, but it's fine. Gonna bring the lo-fi music down just enough. Okay, folks. We're back again. Had a little bit of a late start because to phrase this as nicely as possible, if anybody is to ask, with regards to the Austin St. John's situation, we know about it, but for the time being, we are officially taking no stance on this, only from the perspective of we're a little bit surprised with what this information has even come about, but we're waiting until an official verdict comes out, so we're not...
Innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. It's also from the perspective of if we go against him now and then find out he's innocent all along, it kind of paints us in a poor light. So we're not jumping to conclusions. We're not saying he is indefinitely guilty. We're not saying he's indefinitely innocent. We're just waiting to see how this unfolds, and I think that's probably the best thing going forward. So we know about it, but we're leaving no official comment on it until he's had his day in court, and we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Well, here's something that is actually quite uplifting, and this will be the first time we've actually mentioned the Johnny Depp situation. This comes from MovieWeb. Johnny Depp gets support from Women's Abuse Organization. Mission NGO, an international non-profit that assists abused women and children, has released a statement in support of Johnny Depp. As the defamation trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard moves closer to its conclusion, finally, there have been more people getting vocal about which side they believe based on the televised proceedings. Depp, who seems to be getting immense support from fans and observers of the trial, now has the backing of the women's abuse organization Mission NGO. Founded by Valeria Altobelli, the international non-profit organization has released a public statement in support of Depp. Quote, "Violence is a serious topic. As women, as mothers, we have the duty and the responsibility to educate our sons and daughters, that's to say, the future generation, in the light of the values of dialogue, respect, and compassion between men and women, without any gender distinction, in order to prevent violence with the weapons of love and education, in deep respect of the victims of domestic abuse, and we have to affirm, for intellectually honesty, are generally women. We feel to express as women, as mothers, as free thinkers, our compassion for Johnny Depp in this bad page of his personal history." End quote. An open letter signed by Altobelli goes on to add, "Mission NGO women from all over the world stand against domestic violence regardless of gender, age, or race. Our mission is to educate men and women with no gender differences to keep talking and living in the values of love, mutual comprehension, and sensitivity in order to prevent all kinds of violence against women, against men, against children. As women, we have compassion and we feel empathy, not for the star, the talent, the actor, but for a man, a father, a worker, a human. Mental health is something we care about to live in a positive environment where women and men can love and respect each other without any kind of abuse and violence. We are human, and we have to find the humanity we are born to live for." Fans and other celebrities have also weighed in on the trial to put their support behind Johnny Depp. Eva Green, the actor's Dark Shadows co-star, recently posted an image of herself with Depp on Instagram while noting that her friend will emerge with his good name and wonderful heart revealed to the world. There have been countless tweets with many fans offering additional support, often using the hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp. Depp seems to have convinced a great many viewers of the trial, perhaps most of them, that he is innocent of the domestic abuse allegations levelled at him by his ex-wife, Amber Heard. What will matter when it comes to winning, however, is convincing the individuals on the jury that he had been defamed. Defamation cases are notoriously hard to win, but even if the actor's case gets tossed, Depp's reputation seems to have been improved as a result of the trial. Okay. Now to offer my 2 cents on it. Hey Dan. He says, I hope the truth comes out. I hope for the best. I heard Robert Downey Jr. wants to help Depp get his career back on track. I also heard that Jason Momoa is supporting... Haven't I said so many times when RDJ was at a low point, it was Mel Gibson who gave him a lifeline. And here's Iron Man lending a hand once more, because he did the same thing for Mel Gibson when he went through his troubles, referring to a police officer as, hey, insert offensive dialogue we shall not talk about. So it's actually quite uplifting and wonderful to see that Depp is not only getting support and love from his fans and his fellow peers, but a fact that a non-profit charitable organization that is to help and prevent the abuse against women and children, that he has their support. That's very moving, very touching, and not knowing Johnny Depp as a person, because I only know him professionally because of his work, he does not, pardon my choice of words here, he does not strike me as a man that would ever raise a fist to anyone. Every man is within their rights to restrain and defend man, woman, or against or even animals. Every man has the right to defend themselves. There's a fine difference between restraining, defending, and assaulting. Assaulting is where you choose to go do it, whereas defending is something naturally kicks in. You see somebody trying to throw a fist at you, your natural instinct is to block it and then try to resolve the situation as peacefully as possible. So the way it's looking at the moment from what I've witnessed, because I stopped paying attention after so long because some of the trial updates would go on for hours on YouTube, but I get the highlights, and you look at the facial expression that Ms. Heard has on there. I'll say this as politely and short as I can. She knows she's cooked. And the fact that she's been fired from her role as Queen Marina.
Was that confirmed?
I think it was, because I think one of you guys shared an article into the private server and said, yep, Warner Brothers has fired her.
I think that may have been Win. I read the article myself. From what I can tell, it wasn't. From what I read, wasn't 100% confirmed or not whether they have said that they've removed her completely from the film, because the production of that is still ongoing, because of what I've heard. But they have got rid of her contract with Warner Brothers.
Well, it's because they know that she's a liability now. And I say this constructively and tactfully. Miss Heard, if you are indeed found guilty of this, my advice to you, go and seek professional help, because there is clearly something wrong. Because domestic violence is not okay. Normally it's about the women being abused, and that shouldn't be going on anyway, but you never hear about it happening to the man. It just doesn't get reported about. So if you are in fact guilty, please, for your sake and others, please seek professional help. Because here's the thing, there's two different types of abusers. There's the ones who were mistreated as children and don't go to resolve their issues and then end up hurting others. And then there are people, and then there are those who are born who are just assholes naturally. You know, some people are just born evil. Some people go that way to the dark side, but some just don't have a good bone in their body. And with Amber's case, I wouldn't like to say, because I don't know her personal family history, so it's not for me to say, but you know, there's a reason why therapy exists. It's there to help people. Can her career come back from this? At the moment, it's too early to say. But people thought that RDJ was down and out. Now, the difference between her and Tony Stark himself is RDJ didn't go abusing others, he abused himself. But, you know, it's abuse, but it's in a different context, but he found a way to bounce back. And I think a lot of that is to do with timing and finding the right door of opportunity. Now, I've always said that it's Mel Gibson that gave him his foot back in the door into Hollywood, but it was actually Elton John that had Robert just walking around this empty house in the music video for I Want Love, and apparently Robert did that all on his lunch break. That was like his his reward for good behavior in prison, just to go do that. So, it's all about finding your way back in. And, I'm not in any shape or form condoning what Amber has done. If she's found guilty, which at this point in time is looking more and more likely, all I say for her is, if you are found guilty, pay the charges that you will have against you, because it's upwards in something like $50 million. Pay those charges, start humbling yourself, and get help. I'll leave it at that. Sir Stephen, your thoughts on the fact that Johnny has support from a women's charity organization, and what do you think the outcome is looking more than likely of now?
I think it's great that they're taking the fact that they're highlighting abuse, well, mainly for men, because a lot of times people seem to forget it's not only women that can be abused in relationships. Men can get abused as well, but but there's a lot of stigma to that, because you get a whole lot of these. You hear so many of these cases where people have been abused and then they end up being accused in the wrong. And so many times the women get away with being the abusers.
You're definitely correct. You're definitely correct that it's a stigma. I do agree with that.
I remember once on a show, it was revealed how much of I think I mentioned this on a previous SKL, but the fact that a man got abused by his partner, to the point where he ended up having to jump from a first floor house of his house just to get out of a room that he was locked in by his partner.
Pardon
And the audi-
pardon my language, but that's fucked up.
and the audience apparently laughed at that. At which point the presenter ended up saying that if it was a woman in the same situation, there'd be lots of screams of shock and horror and gasping.
Mm-hmm.
But with men, it's treated like a joke.
Question: was this from the Jeremy Kyle show?
Yes.
Doesn't surprise me.
What is that?
You're better off not knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather not go into that. That's a whole other kettle of fish, and I'm getting off topic again.
Let's just say it's Jerry Springer, but fucked up. More so.
Oh,
Oh, lovely.
Oh, shit. Oh, goody.
Yeah.
I didn't even say anything.
The point is, I hope with this case, it gives men more confidence in speaking out against their abusers.
Yeah.
Because that's something that needs change.
I agree.
And considering that Amber Heard got away with it in the kind of in kind of like a libel trial, and when it was here in the UK, it just felt wrong to me when I heard that result. When a lot of contradictory stuff came out about her being the abuser, not Johnny.
Yeah.
Part of me just wants justice. I'd like the outcome to be that justice is served.
Yeah.
And I just hope Amber doesn't do anything to try and throw the public opinion in her favor. But considering Johnny has a lot of support now, I think that might just turn the tide. But until we find out the results of the case, I'm just watching on the sidelines.
That's fair. The Honourable Cyber-Raiden, what's your 2 cents on all of this?
I can't hold you. Listen. I know this thing's the talk of the town, and I've been doing my absolute best to stay out of it. And I mean, it's like, it doesn't really impact me, but my heart does go out for Depp for dealing with this bullshit with Heard. You know? Whenever I go back to a project of hers, I wince, and I haven't did that in a while. The only time I did like when she was in was that dude bro MMA movie called Never Back Down.
Oh, heard
So,
about that.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and the way she was portrayed in that movie, yeah. But yeah, that's cool. He's getting support. I mean, he's right. I mean, people don't really talk about male abuse. You know, this is the biggest topic. I mean, I get it, but it should be equal.
Exactly.
And now you got these people's like, you don't know the pain, and I'm like, stop talking, okay? Yeah, I'm making it worse as it is.
Yep.
Once again, it's good to see Depp getting support. Hope he gets out of this scot-free, because, yeah, it's the media. People loved self-destruction. And it's fun. It is funny enough because I remember Kendrick Lamar put up an album called "Morale and the Big Steppers," and he has a song called "We Cry Together," featuring Taylor Page, who's an actress. And funny enough, the intro said this is how the world sounds like, and they're just screaming at each other. And yeah, this is what the world sounds like, and people are obsessed with it. You know, people choose sides, people do that. You know, so it's the world we live in. So, like I said, at the end of the day, hope he gets out of this. And like MJ said, I hope her gets out of this like this. No matter how much people villainize you, do want to see you get help. Cause baby girl, you get memes. You getting all the memes, and it ain't looking good.
No.
Hope she gets the help she needs. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Finally, Madam President, what's your stance on this?
I mean, I gotta be honest. It's like, in some weird way, they're both terrible people. But who's the narcissist here? I feel Amber Heard gets more of the bashing of being a narcissist, and from like throughout the trial, you see that in spades. I think in a weird way, Johnny Depp is just trying to freaking get out of this with what's left of his dignity, and Amber just wants to drag it through the mud. The problem is she's dragging her own name through the mud with firing her PR firm before she takes the stand, her lawyer calling contempt on his own questions, which is completely stupid. It's just, I feel like either she's trying to just railroad him, but she's railroading her own career as well, because let's be honest, if she railroads his career, they're not gonna see you as the victim. They're gonna see you as the villain. And let's be honest, we all see Amber Heard as not only a joke, but as the villain in this story. And don't get me wrong, Johnny Depp isn't a perfect person, but you don't hurt a person just because you think you're going to get away with it, and because you are a woman, you're going to get away with it, and that's not fucking fair. If we're all talking about feminism and equal rights and shit, we should be able to treat each other equally, and that includes you going to jail for hitting your spouse, and the fact that you can say, "Oh, I'm going to get away with it because I'm a woman." You even dared him to say, "Go ahead, take it to court," and he did, which is like by far the biggest example of malicious compliance, because the one thing I get from those stories is like, "Go ahead, sue me." Okay. Takes them to court. And now she may or may not be dropped from Aquaman, because let's be honest, there might be a double standard there as well, because guess who's acting like a complete twat in the DCEU? Ezra Miller.
Do
dear.
not
Yeah,
even
yeah.
started
Exactly.
on him.
Oh yeah, and they're gonna see that as a double standard. It's like, if you fire her, why don't you fire him? There's a big problem there. There's a lot of that movie that's already been filmed, and it's like it's supposed to come out this year, but
Yes.
I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
I think they got pushed back. They did got pushed back.
Wow.
Yeah, they might push back.
From what I've heard, both Aquaman 2 and The Flash. Is it The Flash?
Yes.
Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those movies have been pushed back to 2023.
Wow. And also,
So yeah.
there's a lot riding on that movie because it's the return of Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, from what I've been hearing is that they may be focusing more on the Batmen in that movie than the Flash, which kind of makes no sense. But again, I feel at this point they're either gonna recast him and just say, "Oh, it's Flashpoint." I don't know, because again, you need to fix that shit, because again, that's a problem. And then they're gonna call out a double standard. It's like, "Oh, you're gonna fire Amber Heard? Why don't you fire Ezra Miller?" It's like, yeah, there are logistics to that. We get it. But again, if you want to be treated as equals, fire them both, and call it a day. And I do, and I do like that they're at least having some support for Johnny, because, good Lord, I'm sorry, I've heard a lot of bad stories about him, but again, I take it as like, you make your mistakes, and then you pay for them. Sometimes your old behavior can come back to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
But that honestly doesn't matter if you're being beaten by a woman who says she loves you, or she loved you at one point.
Yeah.
Which again, that doesn't make sense considering how much of a giant narcissist she is. Just, I don't know. It honestly feels like it could go either way with this. And if Johnny gets his career back afterwards, it's like good for him. Hopefully he gets it back.
A female narcissist. I didn't realize there was a female clone of Tony Stark. Well, that went over like a fart in church. Never mind. I only based that on the fact that is it at the end of Iron Man 2, she goes, textbook narcissism? Agreed. You do not argue with the glaring Nick Fury. That's like Batman glaring. It's like, wait, I'm a narcissist? Batman glares. Yes, I am.
Kaiju?
Kaiju?
Me?
Hey!
Hey.
Oh my god!
Wow, he's back again.
He's echoing!
Wow. Wasn't expecting you to be in, sir.
Well, if only a certain someone would have told me in advance when the heck we're starting. I am in a new time zone after all.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
My bad.
You gotta fix this habit of yours, MJ, of just like abruptly starting a call out of nowhere. I was still in bed when this happened.
Oh, my.
I, Draco Azul, will take down the mighty Serpentera.
Ah, damn it!
Like, motherfucker.
Why do I see why do I suddenly want fan art of that now? Summon the forgotten gods!
Just to bring you up to speed with the topic that we've got, Johnny Depp has been getting support from an international non-profit women's abuse organization saying we're all, we teach tolerance, respect, and love, and Johnny Depp has our full support during this dark page in his history. And it's the first time we've actually covered this, but I thought, considering he's actually been given support in an open letter from the organization's leader, it's like, that's got to be really telling, that the fact that a non-profit body is actually giving him support in a defamation case where he's been branded as a wife beater, the fact that they believe his innocence, that's got to be telling. And the more and more you look at Amber Heard in court, it's just like, girl, you're guilty as sin.
But her dog stepped on a bee.
I don't care what she stepped on! Fucking you!
This is a savage one from Dan. I think James Franco has a better chance of a comeback than Amber Heard at this point.
Well, damn.
Yeah, we're going to be getting on
Dan chose violence today.
Dan chose ultimate savagery. It's super effective.
Now, can we throw the Pokeball?
Yeah, sure, why the hell not?
No, just kill it. Just kill it.
Kill it with fire?
Yes, please.
Alright.
Okay.
Kaiju, do you want to add anything to this, or you kind of need a little bit more info just for context, or...
Well, no, I've been following this story as it's developed, and it's got to be one of the craziest shit shows, quite literally, in fact, I have seen unfold in court, and it has been it's been entertaining in like the strangest ways possible. Of course, this is a very serious, the subject of domestic violence, domestic abuse is not funny, but just this whole thing and how it unfolded and how it continues to have all these different twists and turns. It's almost like a fucking WWE like a match unfolding before us, where it's like, oh my god, she pulls out the fucking evidence and then it gets rejected. Oh my god, what's going on here?
As God is no witness, she's broken in half.
I'm going to turn into a Money in the Bank cash-in.
The fact that this is live, I have friends who are like streaming this live and watching it as it happens. It's all sorts of bonkers, really. And so, like, I am glad that awareness, that abuse awareness and support has grown from this. So it's like, this is a really ugly thing that should never have happened in the first place. And of course, it's celebrities and their personal lives, and just like, this is stuff that should not have been known to us. This should have been kept, within private matters. But of course, things escalated, and now it's this big thing, and that's impossible for anyone to ignore at this point. And at the very least, I'm glad that some good came out of it in the terms of awareness of this very real issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that. We're gonna lighten the mood in a moment. I'm just gonna check to make sure the kitchen door is closed because, again, some of the neighbors have been yelling for reasons I don't know. So just one moment.
I do have one bit of news that I just learned that when I woke up.
Okay.
So, I'm sure you guys have heard of the once viral phenomenon known as NFTs over the last year.
Yes.
Thanks, I hate
And
it.
how are you guys aware of the fact that like the whole cryptocurrency, NFT, crypto bro culture has been like on a major decline within the last 2 weeks?
Huh?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How has it done?
Yeah. Where like all like the biggest crypto coins have drastically fallen in like 90% in value. NFTs sales are at an all-time low. So you'd think this would be the worst possible time to get involved in the crypto business.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But guess who decided to join in right as the market is crashing?
Who?
Oh no. Who?
There I am.
Feast your eyes on this.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay.
Mr. Mega Man artist and Mighty Number 9 creator Keiji Inafune confirmed to work on an NFT
Oh no!
He's finally come out of hiding. The guy who, Mr. Keiji Inafune, Mr. I am the sole, responsible. I'm the sole reason for Mighty Number 9's disaster. The reason he's the guy who almost bankrupt Capcom by suggesting to make games that pander to the West. The guy responsible for the Bionic Commando reboot. The guy who would have made the almost disastrous Mega Man, what was it called, Mega Man Universe. This guy here decided to make a bunch of art that's clearly, in the style of Mega Man X, and decided to sell them on a project called Polka Fantasy, and so that he can have his first NFT collection called Beastroid. So yeah, exclusively on the Ame NFT marketplace.
Also, wasn't he the same guy that was behind Recore?
Yes, he was the guy behind Recore, and I'm sure up until now I completely forgot that was a thing.
God.
Same goes for Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. Trust me, I played that game.
He was behind that
Lord.
as well.
Yeah, that. Oh god, I wish that on nobody.
Didn't he kill the Ninja Gaiden series with his game?
Technically, yes.
Oh no.
Yep. And if you look at the article, there was at one point people who doubted that this NFT project was real and that he was actually involved. But no, just recently, a few days ago, as of Thursday, May 19th, Ami, or however you pronounce this, they put out a video from Keiji Inafune directly addressing his new NFT project. And if you scroll down the article, you can see several of the designs he created, which look like they could have come from any Mega Man X game.
Oh god. Speaking of Mighty Number 9, he's planning on playing that eventually because he's got that save. So good luck.
My only advice here is that he plays the PS4 version and stay far the hell away from the PS3 version. It is a choppy, buggy, stuttering mess, which is weird which is weird given that the PS3 was the console it was originally designed for.
Oh my god.
Thankfully, he has a PlayStation 4.
Okay,
He's gonna play the Xbox version, unfortunately.
Oh, jeez.
How's that?
He hasn't played it yet. He's going to.
Well, dare I ask how that version went down?
I'm assuming that if it's the 360, it's most likely going to be on par with the PS3 version.
Oh boy.
Oh no. Oh no.
Boned.
Oh no.
Boned.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
And then what
Not
was
now,
that?
Kool-Aid.
And let's see, what was the other thing I also wanted to share here? Shoot, totally forgot. But yeah, that's just something I want. Oh yeah, now I remember. So yeah, Keiji Inafune, ever since like Mighty Number 9 came out in like what 2016 or 2017?
I'd say 2016.
Oh, here we go. I think June 2016. So it's been what 6?
Yeah.
6 years? Yeah, it's been 6 years since Mighty Number 9 came out. And since then, Keiji Inafune has been pretty much like radio silent since then and hasn't made any sort of public comments or appearances since then. And I think the only time any news related to him came out was when his company Concept was merged or bought out and merged with the company Level 5. I believe Level 5, they are the developers behind Professor Layton, I think. So his company Concept became Level 5 Concept. And since then, I think they only put out one game since the merge, since the 2017 merger, and that was a mobile game called Dragons and Colonies. And it launched in 2019, temporarily taken offline from August to October, and then relaunched, shut down completely in February 2020. So yeah, in the time between Mighty Number 9 and now, Keiji Inafune's company has only ever put out ReCore and the now defunct Dragons and Colonies. Wow. And of course, there is the mysterious Red Ash, the indelible legend. If you remember way back in like 2015, I think, he tried to get a Kickstarter made for a Mega Man Legends spiritual successor, Red Ash. He had a Kickstarter for the game and a Kickstarter for the anime. And the anime movie did get funded, ironically, but the game didn't. But he still said, "Oh, don't worry, guys. I have a Chinese developer. The game is technically funded, and we're gonna make the game." It's been 7 years, still no word about Red Ash. Meanwhile, the anime, it was like, I think it was like a 20 or 30 minute short CGI short film that came and went, and nobody gave a fuck. So yeah, aside from Red Ash, there's really nothing that Keiji Inafune has been working on. And now all of a sudden, here we are with his next big project, his first big major in-person announcement, and it's fucking NFTs at the worst possible time you could ever be selling NFTs to begin with.
Jeez Louise.
I would say that's a fall from grace, but yeah,
you couldn't even possibly fall any further.
It's a fallen shit. It's a fallen shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like to quote our buddy Random here, because he put it oh so eloquently on social media.
No, what did he do?
Please do.
Let's see if I can find his post. Let's see.
Knowing him, he's going to be snarky as hell.
It's Random. What else do you expect?
In his words, so the jackass who took all the credit for Mega Man's creation, bungled his own company several times, and nearly killed Capcom to pander to Western gamers, is now selling NFTs. Oh, how the not-so-mighty have fallen.
That's good.
Yep.
That's good.
Oh my god.
KG, you just never learn.
I think there's one reason why, if I'm trying to think, like, why on God's green earth would anyone invest in NFTs at this time? And the only reason I can think of is that somehow these people think that NFTs are going to rebound after their like major fall. So like if NFTs are at like an all-time low right now, maybe they're thinking that in case it were to skyrocket in price again, they perhaps the value of these stupid JPEGs would suddenly become, I don't know, 100 times more valuable than when they were made or sold.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my only reasoning. Other than that, NFTs have always been an incredibly risky and downright dangerous investment that more people have lost than gained from. Really, when it comes to NFTs, it's like a Ponzi scheme. Really, the only people who benefit from NFTs are the people who were in on the ground floor when it first started. Everyone else, they're just a victim for the guys that on the top to just take the money and run. So yeah, NFTs, stupid thing, and now a stupid man is involved in said stupid thing.
Icky.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Who would like a palate cleanser?
Please.
All of us.
Okay.
Take one.
This would have been for last week, but after some necessary tweaking, finally got it up.
Sweet.
To quote a certain Ruby, Spider-Man!
Alright, me turn off the lo-fi hip-hop. Right.
Somebody had to do it.
I'm at 0.
Same.
Hold
I'm
on.
at 0.
Hold on. Okay.
Same.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, folks, I want to tell you something about sequels. They can either make or break a franchise, and sometimes they can just be shameless cash grabs. So that's Hollywood in general? What he said. The problem with sequels is that expectations will be high knowing what the predecessor set. You need only look at Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, Iron Man, and the 1990 Ninja Turtles movie to know that you either match or succeed what the audience was greeted with previously. And let's be fair, most of the time, it doesn't happen. Just look at every Terminator movie and C2, the rinse and repeat formula of
I regret watching that in the
sequels and
theaters.
the current Spider-Man series with Tom Holland. And we come to 2004's Spider-Man 2, following on from the original movie. Considering what the original had laid the groundwork for, it had a lot to live up to. Does it still hold up? Only one way to find out. Let's swing back into 2004. Spider-Man 2 has a very similar premise to The Dark Knight. It shows the progression and evolution of the story. With the first outing, we saw Peter acquire his powers and having what I like to call the honeymoon period, where he's being a benefit to the city. But like with any honeymoon, afterwards there comes a marriage. The commitment. We see him struggle in this movie to such a degree that it's affecting his academic, personal, and vigilante life. He's burning the candle at both ends, trying to maintain
Someone's
a
got
job
feedback
as a
in the
delivery
background.
boy, his freelance photography with the Daily Bugle, and his grades are slipping at university. And on top of that, more
How about
worries
now?
are added knowing that Harry wants Spider-Man
That's better,
dead,
thanks.
still believing that he killed his father, and discovering Aunt May has financial woes. And his situation is not being helped to any end, with his strained relationship with Mary Jane affecting his powers. I didn't latch on to this until many years later, as I first
why?
that the movie was setting up the Man-Spider story arc where Parker would mutate into a humanoid 8-limbed monster. Those that recall this in the 90s animated series will remember that
You're
Peter's
tearing me
powers
apart,
would keep turning
MJ.
on and off, what Doc Connors referred to as a mutation disease as he was still changing. The themes of loss, redemption, and perseverance are present. In Doc Ock's case, it was losing his life's work, sanity, and his wife Rosie due to the experiment going wrong in trying to harness the power of the sun and losing control of the AI mechanical arms grafted to his body. Peter carries the theme of responsibility when he becomes Spider-Man again, when he sees Doc Ock carrying Mary Jane away. Everyone has a self-destruct button in terms of when lines are crossed. With the Hulk, there's too many to list. With Parker, it is...
Down, down,
I think Undertaker said it best
Sorry,
in his
I can resist.
American Badass persona, mess with my family, and I will hurt you. And now I'm picturing Spider-Man coming out on a motorcycle to You're Gonna Pay. I say personally...
Oh no! No!
I do.
No.
I do.
Just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer.
And then...
Toby, don't rip in half!
I liked how the New Yorkers stood up for Spidey when they got in between him and Doc
Oh.
Ock.
That's reminded me of something I got to show you later.
You want to get to him, you got to go through me.
And me.
Me too.
When people see someone
Me also!
raise their neck for people they don't even know, they show gratitude and loyalty. This was also seen in the final battle of the first movie.
Come on up here, tough guy. I got a little something for you. Leave Spider-Man alone. You gonna pick on a guy trying to save a bunch of kids? You mess with Spidey, you mess with New York. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
You damn right. Towards the end of the movie, I liked the reverse of Peter and Otto from the perspective of telling each other the importance of intelligence and that it's a privilege and not a gift. I like this to whenever Marty would go back to 1950.
Then I got replicated in the PlayStation game.
Doc Brown as opposed to 1995 Doc, where he's the mentor. Although, the idea of Marty McFly swinging around New York as Spider-Man in an alternate reality is intriguing. In the same scene where Mary Jane was held captive,
That's enticing, actually. I can't lie to you.
She's not only surprised but connected all the dots and understood why he'd kept his distance from her. It's like I said last time. There's a reason why you have to be a lone crusader. You keep your loved ones from harm and thus not compromising yourself as a result. It's not something you want to do, but you have to. Responsibility. However, this all becomes null and void because Mary Jane ditches John at the altar and chooses Peter. So much for keeping your distance. In short, this remains one of the best superhero sequels ever to be made. The writing is solid and it builds upon the foundations set by the original. And it's no wonder fans keep coming back to this. Maguire reprises his role as the Webhead, and personally, I think this is his best performance. He really shows the struggle of the weight he carries on his shoulders. As a student, a photographer, a pizza delivery guy, and his alter ego. What can I say? You can only burn the candle at both ends for so long. I think that's true of most people in life. You can only keep pushing yourself at maximum for so long before it shows in your work and personal life, and then you burn out. One scene I felt mirrored a rescue from the first movie, except with a twist. Peter is rescuing a child without his powers this time.
It's okay, your baby's fine.
Oh, my baby. God bless you, Spider-Man. Bless you.
And then the rescue in question from this movie.
No, it's the same piece of music.
I feel like this shows the heart of Spidey. Powers or not, he will die trying before he sees an innocent child die in a fire. JK returns as the show-stealing, gruff comic relief.
I also like to add that his snarkiness got much better.
Yeah. That just make him a treat to watch. Here are some of his best quotes.
Miss Brandt?
Yes.
Get me a violin.
Boss, your wife's in the line. She said she lost a checkbook.
Thanks for the good
And the one that everyone has used as a meme.
You serious?
Oh, you lovable scamp. Riddle me this. Was this JJ or JK enjoying this? You be the judge.
Yes.
Alfred's portrayal as Doc Ock is arguably one of the best supervillain performances, as he makes the audience feel sympathy for.
Not gonna lie, having a Spider-Man suit myself, there are times where I've done that.
It's one of the best.
Same here. I can't lie to you.
Will overrides the AI and sets about dismantling his experiment with what I feel is a great line. I will not die a monster. And he didn't. He died a man redeemed. Rosemary's second performance as Peter's auntie is one that has an impact later on in the movie when Parker's powers have been subdued due to his conflicting issues with Mary Jane. I did feel like the way the story resolved itself concerning who was responsible for the situation of Ben's death was really contrived. Let me ask you something. If you found out that someone could have prevented a criminal from taking the life of your loved one, wouldn't you be
Language.
I was wondering when you would show up. Despite that criticism, Harris puts in a great emotional performance as Aunt May that allowed the character to grow. Unlike his last appearance as the character, Franco actually showed emotional range from when Octavius's experiment went wrong and to the look of shock on his face when he discovers that Peter Parker and Spider-Man are one and the same. What is this? James Franco actually showing range? Interesting. Next you'll be telling me Kirsten Dunst actually improved. The subject allows the character to evolve, and it provides Franco with useful material to work with. The first movie actually showed a somewhat competent performance to where the material complemented her skills at that time. In this, however, Kirsten is flatter than a wooden post with about as much acting conviction as Kristen Stewart trying to show charisma. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, jeez.
It's been time that actors and actresses go through bad spells in their careers, and this was obviously one of them. And as mentioned last time, Spider-Man 3 was her worst performance. Oh boy, I am not looking forward to that review. Oh, good lord. Okay, before anyone starts overreacting, there were some improvements made, but it's the visual effects that left a lot to be desired. Exhibit A. Exhibit B.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look, I appreciate that they're a product of their time, but this looked nasty in 2004, let alone today. The green screen is hit and miss. The coffee shop scene where the car is propelled through the window and crashes behind Peter and Mary Jane looks so painfully obvious, like a green screen that was not properly lit. Whereas the train scene, it looks more plausible. Humor me a minute. Do you ever get the impression that while chroma key work has improved in the last 2 decades with things like The Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Endgame, do you ever get the feeling like the writing has gone in reverse? Changed my mind. I think the only visual effects that actually improved then and still do is the CG for Ock's tentacles and to his death scene where he sinks to the bottom of the river, where the CGI is reasonably photoreal. So, there are some improvements made to the effects, but it's something that could be refined if an anniversary edition is put out, where they improve upon them. Danny Elfman provides the amazing score that he had so masterfully used in the first and uses new pieces that elevate scenes to really sell the emotion of the characters. Scenes from May telling Spidey to hold on a second longer, the revelation for Harry that Peter is Spider-Man, and the discovery from Mary Jane that Peter is Spidey and realizes why he had kept her at arm's length for so long. and the same can be said with the sad and somber piece used for Otto's death. I thought it was a clever idea to use Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, as we see this montage of Peter being a little bit more carefree and relaxed, where he's catching up with his studies, where he has a more easygoing demeanor. So, 2 for 2, the score did its job. Spider-Man 2 grossed a profit of $789 million against a budget of $200 million. Today, the profit would be worth $1.1 billion. Mark Caro of the Chicago Tribune wrote this about Alfred Molina. A pleasingly complex villain, and the film as a whole improves upon its predecessor in almost every way. Roger Ebert commented, "The best superhero movie since the modern genre was launched with Superman," and praising the film for effortlessly combining special effects and a human story, keeping its parallel plots alive and moving. Spider-Man 2 the video game was released onto multiple consoles from PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and the original Xbox. It had an open map world that was based on Manhattan, Roosevelt Island, Ellis Island, and Liberty Island. You could lose yourself for hours just swinging around or stopping random crimes and having fun, tying crooks up in webs and hanging from street lamps. And of course, pizza time! Because we see at the start of the movie, Peter is doing whatever he can to make money. This aspect was included in the game to where you see him swinging around dropping off pizza to, I guess, inspired music for pizza. This of course would spark memes later where you'd see Toby's face on a clock made of pizza. It remains one of the most beloved superhero movies.
Not to mention the song from that level has become a meme itself.
Even included in Spider-Man PS4 as well.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Now that's meta referencing.
With Spider-Man 2.
Indeed.
Yes.
No.
Wait for it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That was good.
Oh my god.
JJ Rokaku.
As Raiden said last week, it's like 2 weeks ago, that's a little bit on the nose.
Why am I just getting the image of him just wanting pictures of Kazuma Kido?
I could see him doing that.
I'll get you, MG Knight.
And I'm already halfway through doing the edits for Spider-Man 3. Good Lord, help me.
Oh
It's not
jeez.
that bad. It's no Catwoman, 2004 Catwoman,
I'll
or
grant you that.
Oh Jesus Christ.
or
No.
Fantastic, or Steel, or Spawn,
Or was
or
it
Roger Corman's Fantastic Four.
That never got released.
or 2003 Daredevil?
Or Zoom.
With Daredevil, there are bits and pieces that I like about
Same
it,
here.
but
Yeah, I'd say Daredevil is another one of those like mid-tier movies that's nowhere near the bottom of the barrel.
let's put it this way: the suit, grade A job.
Yes.
Struggling on names at the moment. He played the Kingpin in that movie.
Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah, him as Kingpin. Stellar casting. Could not have chosen better because Michael just has this very
eloquent and very charming demeanor, even though you know the character he's playing is a grade A asshole. But he just does it in such a way where you're like, I know I'm not supposed to like you, but you're charming enough for me to like you. So it's like, okay, good job. Colin Farrell as Bullseye. Sir, you were enjoying that way too much.
And then years later, we got him as Penguin.
Where he equally enjoyed it too much. And the thing is, with the prosthetics for his makeup, you couldn't even tell it was Colin.
Yep, exactly.
And
it was almost like what do you call it? Like Tom Cruise's performance in Tropic Thunder.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, that's a movie. Be interesting to see how that would get processed if that was being made today, because there are certain things that may not be allowed. I mean,
did you see how Twitter reacted when they first discovered this movie's existence?
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. I'm like,
yeah, they got triggered as hell. It's like, OMG. Like it's like they saw Robert Downey Jr. in that movie, and they automatically assumed that was who he was, despite the fact that people need to correct these idiots on Twitter. It's like, no, that's the point of the character. He's playing a dude playing a dude,
and
it's supposed to be weird and offensive.
And of course, the line of "never go full."
Yeah,
yep. That wouldn't be allowed today. I mean, I get why the context of the line is just like, you just went and acted like an idiot. Don't be a complete idiot.
No, that's not what he was saying. He was saying that he was portraying a mentally handicapped character for his movie, and he was like, no, you can be a little mentally handicapped if you want that Oscar bait, but don't go fully mentally handicapped. Don't play a fully mentally handicapped like character if you want, because you'll end up looking like a joke.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying. That's the point he was trying to say.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2, I actually had to reshoot all the chroma key scenes because, for whatever reason, the camera filmed it, but the shotgun mic, for whatever reason, didn't pick up, because I went to go do Spider-Man 3 directly afterwards, and it picked up 3 just fine, but 2, for whatever reason, no. There was no sound to it, and sometimes that's a good thing, because if I've already done the second, the one before, I go to read the lines, I actually do the takes better because it's still reasonably fresh in my head, and then it just comes across a little bit more naturally. So maybe in some ways that was fate lending a hand, but Spider-Man 2's a movie I hold in very high regard with regards to writing and performances, but as I pointed out, the CG, I know we make a point of on here, appreciate it for how it was at the time, but that looked nasty even back then. And when you consider CG for other superhero movies, whether it be X-Men, Hulk, or it's maybe even, to be fair, some of the visual effects that were used in the Schumacher years of Batman were, still look reasonably competent by today's standards. It was like I say, I just looked at how Spidey looked during those web swinging scenes, and I'm like, if this was on like a modestly budgeted video game, I'd say, okay, Sony, you were operating with a $200 million budget and you couldn't make Spidey look good in CG? The thing I noticed for Spider-Man 3, they got the visual effects just right, with the exception of whenever Brock's face was concealed by the symbiote. I'm just looking at him like, okay, when you make Hulk 2003 look less cartoony, there's a problem. But no, Spider-Man 2, I feel like, is a proper benchmark for not only how a superhero movie should be done, but actually taking what had been set with the previous movie and evolving it. It's pretty much all I'll say for that. So Stephen, as somebody who has cosplayed as Spider-Man for the work you do and a couple of cosplays that you've done, your thoughts on Spider-Man 2 then, now, and thoughts on the review? Hey, Red.
Good work as always on the review. I'll just start off by saying that.
Thank you.
Because I'm still trying to get my thoughts on Spider-Man 2. It's been a while since I last saw it, but again, one of the more solid films out of the Raimi trilogy, and out of all the Spider-Man films that have ever been, from my knowledge. Still sets the standard high, I think, in terms of all Spider-Mans that came afterwards. Not much else to say after that.
Madam President, same questions to you.
It was a good review all in all, and I thought it was informative. And again, I still like the second Spider-Man movie. It's like, again, I feel like it was better than the first one. But yeah, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect by any means, but what film is? But still, it was a decent film. I enjoyed it for what it was at the time, so I still look back at it fondly. So,
Cyber-Raiden?
Excuse me. And yeah, basically, as always, you kill it with your reviews.
Thank you.
Give every little detail its due. My experience with the movie, yeah, I'm across the board. I think this is one of my also favorite Spider-Man movies, not named Into the Spider-Verse before. But, yeah, I thought with this movie, like I said during the review, I think this was definitely the best portrayal Tobey Maguire ever did with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He captured a lot of what Spider-Man is. Not only selfless, not only does whatever it takes to help, but one thing that makes Spider-Man great is his snarkiness. Yes. And I felt like he definitely got a lot of that. So I was happy to see that be there in full force. I mean, no disrespect to the first movie, but okay, way before he gets the full-blown suit, he was like that, but I don't know. I just felt like it was too uber serious for my taste. But with this movie, I think it improved, and everyone did their thing, minus Kirsten Dunst, good Lord. But yeah, still enjoy the movies to this day, and yeah, pretty good, man. Real good.
And last but never least, the future Roger Ebert himself, Mr. Noir. Same questions to you.
I like it.
Okay then. All right, he's really keeping it all short-worded. Okay.
Yes, always. Good job, pal.
All right.
You done good.
Thank you kindly, sir. Thank you kindly. Let's see. We'll now move on to a topic that made the following both double toasted and Madam President herself, thirsty as hell.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh.
She-Hulk trailer
Not the only one, bro.
She-Hulk trailer pulls in second highest 24-hour audience for an MCU show. Falling just behind the trailer for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, She-Hulk's 24-hour views were a monster hit. The She-Hulk trailer may have brought a mixed reaction from fans, with some criticizing the design of Marvel's latest addition to the MCU and others not massively impressed with the CGI effects on display. To be fair, they could still be a work in progress.
No, no. I'm sorry, but no. If they were still a work in progress, Disney wouldn't have shown this to millions of people around the world. I honestly feel like this is the best we're going to get here.
However, the trailer now has the second largest debut for a Marvel Studio Disney Plus series with a massive 78 million views in the first 24 hours, which puts it behind only The Falcon and The Winter Soldier, which had the added benefit of being released to a Super Bowl audience. The arrival of Jennifer Walters in the MCU has been one of the most anticipated Disney Plus shows for the year. For that reason, it has not been surprising to see so much interest in the first full trailer for the series when it contains the first actual footage of Tiana Maslany's Green Giant in action. Appearing alongside Mark Ruffalo's Smart Hulk, the character is seen as both her regular human self and her transformed Jade Giant alter ego, and not everyone was massively sold on what they saw. It was first believed that She-Hulk was going to be released on Disney Plus sometime around now, but instead there is still a 3-month wait until the show premieres in the middle of August. Many have speculated where the rumored May release was at one time correct, and Marvel Studios decided to delay the show to give them more time on the CGI work needed to make the many hulked out characters come to life convincingly on screen. While this is something we will probably never know for sure, it is not unfair to say there are some fans who hope that this is true and there will be some slight adjustments made to She-Hulk before her late summer debut. She-Hulk has a number of links to the wider MCU story. Hey there, Tim Roth. While recent series Moon Knight made a big play to be almost completely outside the ongoing MCU narrative, She-Hulk is a return to the connected universe with a number of crossovers apparent from the trailer. As well as the return of Ruffalo's Hulk, the trailer reintroduces Tim Roth's...
Mark Ruffalo!
Tim Roth's ML Blonsky Abomination, who was missing from the MCU until a shock appearance in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, where he was last seen being led by Wong through a sling ring portal to a then undisclosed location. From the trailer, we now know he was being led to a holding cell that was seen again in the She-Hulk trailer. Based on the timeline of events, this could mean that we will see Ruffalo become Bruce Banner again by the end of the series, which would then tie into his appearance in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi. While there are a number of rumors around who else could turn up in the series, thanks to She-Hulk's many comic book connections to other characters, and the fact she is heading up a law department specializing in superhero cases, there is a lot more to be seen in a 9-episode series when it premieres on August 17, Disney Plus.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, first off, being a super fan of She-Hulk, because I've always found this character endearing ever since she first had her coffee break appearance in the 1982 Incredible Hulk animated series, where fans back then learned that Jennifer has a distinct advantage over Bruce, that she could actually initiate her transformations and regress at will. Whereas you get to the 96 animated series, once she becomes She-Hulk, she's stuck with it until she has that power drain where, surprise, surprise, all it was, she was just burnt out. Just needed time to rest and let her gamma cells regenerate. Whereas with this, they seem to be going with the narrative that she has control. Well, her transformations are still initiated by fear and anger, which Tatiana very amusingly says, that's like the blueprint for most modern women these days. And I'm like, wow, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot flagpole. But it's good that she's retaining her personality, maybe probably had her, when I say had her personality altered, more like her self-esteem's grown, because, you know, you get one of the girls saying, Jennifer, your ass is amazing. It's like, she's like going, oh girl, you know it. And I agree with Corey, like, can we just be dudes? Dude, just be just dudes for a while. And they get like Martin, like, no, it's 2022, we can't be dudes no more. And I'm like, no, I'm with Corey, man. Can we just be dudes for a while? Because even Liz is like looking at Jennifer, going, okay, when Oni's not looking, you and I are going out for coffee and much more. You know what I mean? Hey, can I get a piece? You've already got Mickey James. Don't be greedy. And there's,
I am enjoying the snoo jokes. What did they die of? Crushed.
She's not the only one.
I like when that moment where she's carrying the guy from her couch and they just go and say, he's probably going to die tonight, and his last few moments are probably going to be the happiest moments of his life.
Yeah.
Why am I being reminded of that Futurama episode?
That's where I was making the joke. Like it's
yeah, this
snoo.
Yes.
Wait, are we even allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Well, they'll allow it. What did they die of? Crushed pelvises.
I think, you know, for Tatiana, this is, unbelievably going to raise her stock and her profile, because she's already proven herself to be a more than competent actress. But it's when you find that right project that takes you from, they did so good, so it's like, yes, get her for future projects. We need this talent. You know, and I've been saying for years, I've wanted a live action She-Hulk project probably since the advent of Hulk,
2003,
some 19 years ago, which, you know, they brought up Hulk, says that thing was a piece of shit, and I'm like, oh Billy, you're being far too polite there, my friend, far too polite. But no, I just think Jennifer Walters' story is something worth telling, and from what I've seen thus far, purely based on what we see in the trailer, it's going to be a She-Hulk that's for everyone to enjoy. You know, it's not being doesn't mean to pander to specific demographics, because She-Hulk's a character that's that has unisex appeal. There are women that grow up on She-Hulk characters, like the fact that she's a strong, independent woman, and the guys like her because of the fact that she's written well, she kicks ass, and, well, there was probably a few guys back in the day where She-Hulk was probably their first waifu, especially if they saw the version that was voiced by Cree Summer. That's my favorite version, by the way.
Muscle waifu.
No, I think it's absolutely great, and like I say, I think it's going to be a strong female character that's it's done naturally, where it's not forced down your throat. It's just, you know, you'll see her, you know, tell her story on screen, and it's the way where fans will embrace it, rather than, hey, don't force that down my throat. I don't really wish to vomit. Seriously. Captain Marvel. So, you know, I will agree that the CGI probably could have been polished and refined. However, I've seen worse. And that's all I'll leave it with. And to Madam President, who is probably trying to get Jennifer Walters' number on speed dial behind Oni's back, what do you think of it?
Well, for starters, I didn't even know the trailer was coming out until Arnie called me into the room. Honey, She-Hulk trailer. I'm like, wait, what? Instantly ran into the room.
Okay, the fact that the fact that you can get into the room this quickly is scary. Don't do that.
That's what he immediately said. He immediately said that. I'm like, I call you for regular things. I call you for this. You speed out of the room. I'm like, what do you want from me? But as soon as I saw it, I'm like, first of all, hamina. It's like, I think I have a kink where I like strong women who could probably kick my ass. I'm like, how you doing? especially a certain female wrestler. Raiden and I know what I'm talking about. Call me Daddy Ripley.
Wow.
But yeah, I am looking forward to this. I'm getting a vibe from this this trailer that's a bit more comedic, which again I don't mind that, because in the comics earlier it was a bit more comedic in tone than it was just, because again I get a lot of people saying, oh, it's too funny. I'm like, that's what the comic started out to begin with. It wasn't just, female version of this character. No, it was its own character, and that's what I like about that. And you know what?
And she was breaking the fourth wall long before Deadpool did it.
Yeah, I want that. I really hope they do that somehow. It'd be just really weird, but I want it. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for this. Again, I know the CGI is a little wonky. Well, not wonky so much as like, could have been a bit more muscular. It's like, and there were even reports that the original model might have been a bit more muscular, but then they said, no, we don't want that. We have to make her smaller. I'm like, why?
Why?
I don't know.
Why are you doing this, Disney?
And it is kind of funny. And it is kind of funny that in a post-Encanto world, where the muscular sister turned out to be the most popular character, especially among little girls. Like Disney, they thought the pretty sister from Encanto was going to be the popular one with little girls. No, it was the muscular one.
Yeah, give me more Luisa, please.
Yes, please, yes.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. So it's, again, I'll have to watch more. Maybe I'll decide to get Disney Plus someday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to this. It looks interesting.
I will probably only get Disney Plus just for those 9 episodes. Like, okay, episode 9's done. Okay, unsubscribing, and I'll wait for you to release.
No, you gotta watch The Mandalorian, MJ.
You must watch The Mandalorian.
You have to.
This is the way, MJ.
Your Jedi mind tricks
do not. This is the fucking way.
This is the fucking way.
Your Jedi mind tricks do not work on me, Obi-Wan Noir.
I ain't no fucking Jedi, no fucking laser sword monk. I'm a goddamn bounty hunter, bitch.
But do you know the way?
This is the way.
I did like the fact that in Sonic 2 they did kind of reference that, where Jim Carrey goes, but I could show you the way. And I'm like, okay, so what he did there. Stephen, thoughts?
Has me very intrigued. I think an earlier prediction that I made, it will come to pass in that Hulk will be teaching, or Professor Banner, should I say, will be teaching Jennifer how to manage control of her powers.
I will teach you the ways of the Hulk. First, smash. Lesson complete.
What kind of? And then she's like, "What kind of smashing are we talking about here?" When you saw the end of the trailer, they know what the fuck they were doing.
My genuine reaction there was just, "Oh my!"
I was just gonna say, they know their audience.
And what else? It's just the only question that still remains is, what is it exactly that makes Jennifer become She-Hulk?
They had a blood transfusion.
But how in this series will they get to that part?
If you see in the trailer, you actually see a car wreck accident. So I can only presume Jennifer had been targeted by a member of the mob or somebody that knows something that she knows about a specific case, and she gets rushed in, and Banner just happens to be, either the closest or an exact match, but knowing what is in his blood gets passed on to her. I mean, it's always been the staple in the comics and in both animated series, and of course that's where Madam President pointed out to me when I brought up her Jen's transformation in that series where she's going ooh I was like, Jen, do you need a cigarette after that? Because I felt like with that version of She-Hulk they didn't push as many envelopes as I thought they would do, but they did push a couple of times where I thought, hang on a minute, is this supposed to be on Saturday morning cartoons? Because the voice that they had for She-Hulk when she originally came in, I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, I love Cree Summer. Love Cree Summer to to the heavens and back, because I felt like she brought that sassy rasp in her voice that they were looking for, but I didn't see anything that was wrong with the first voice, because it is what it is. But yeah, be interesting to see how they do go about that, because obviously Disney Plus tends to be more family related, even though they've got shows like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel on their list, because Disney bought out Fox, so naturally they have to acquire the other stuff.
Also Alias.
They recently put up a bunch of TVMA content on their streaming site now.
And they even acquired Courtney Cox's Cougars, which I'm like, huh.
I thought it was called Cougar Town.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And it has to be said, the trailer that they had for Cougar Town on there, where I think with Courtney's character, it was just like a lady going through a midlife crisis, wondering if she was, still attractive to men younger than her, and at one point she just happens to just open her robe up, just revealing only her underwear, and it causes the poor paperboy to crash, but he's like, nope, those injuries were worth it. But yeah, Steve, did you have anything further to say? Because I felt like you had more to say there.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm definitely going to be watching this. My curiosity has been piqued.
Raiden.
Oh my god.
He's thirsty.
I know. I don't make no bones about it, okay? But yeah, listen. Alright. Me and Marvel, I can't lie to you, it's an impasse. I mean, last Marvel movie I watched was No Way Home this year, so I don't know. With this, I might make an exception. Same goes for Moon Knight, because I hear a lot of great reviews on it, especially from Erod. So I'll definitely check that out. Well, with She-Hulk, excuse me. Yeah. CGI itself is gonna take for me to get used to, but I'll definitely give it a shot. Just like Liz, and she already said it, I too am obsessed with muscular chicks who can whip my ass. Shout out to China, shout out to China, RIP, and Rhea Ripley. Lord Jesus, carry me. But yes, I'm looking forward to it, and that's all I'll say in the matter. Because if I say anything, I won't forgive myself.
Here's a bucket of ice. Here you go.
Thank you.
All he's thinking about is Tatiana She-Hulk winking at him and go, yes ma'am, yes ma'am. Last but never least, the author of Draco Azul. Your thoughts?
I do still have my reservations about this show, mainly because when it comes down to She-Hulk's character, what makes her unique from her male counterpart is the fact that A, she is still who she is even after she's transformed, and B, she loves being a superhero. She loves being the She-Hulk. And we don't get any of that really with this trailer. We have a character who is pretty much exactly like Professor Hulk. The fact that Professor Hulk exists is, I think, a detriment to the contrast between Hulk and She-Hulk. If both characters are smart and essentially are the exact same mentally when transformed, that takes away from the uniqueness of She-Hulk. And the fact that she's a more comedic character in the comics, but whereas in the MCU, where everyone is trying to be a quippy Joss Whedon written character, that also takes away from She-Hulk's uniqueness. And finally, when it comes to the character of Jennifer Walters enjoying being a superhero, we get the exact opposite with this version, where it looks like we're going to get yet another story of a character who doesn't like being a superhero and eventually grows to accept her powers and responsibilities and all that stuff. And we've seen that a million times before. So I feel like they took the character of She-Hulk, watered her down to her bare essentials of essentially being female Hulk, and then kind of crafting what appears to be a generic story around it. And that's the thing. Everyone's kind of going gaga over She-Hulk's design. No one is talking about the actual story itself. And that is a huge red flag for me. So, and the fact that like the CGI for She-Hulk herself isn't exactly the best. Lord knows what this is going to mean for the actual action sequences, if there are any. I think a while back when it was confirmed that there was going to be a She-Hulk show, we talked about this on Sunday Night Live. And
150, I think it was.
Thank you. And I gave my reservations on whether or not they are able to pull off an entire lower budgeted TV series featuring a fully CG character. I mentioned how while she wouldn't be as physically impressive looking if she was played by an actual person, I feel like having a real person portray her would be a lot more beneficial. Or heck, do forced perspective like they did with the Hobbits and Lord of the Rings movies, which is honestly a lost art in my opinion. Yet they didn't do that. Instead, we've had ourselves some subpar CGI, and I don't know how that level of CG is going to carry out for the rest of the show. And a lot of people are saying, "Oh, maybe it's not finished yet. Maybe they'll improve it." And I'm thinking, if it was still a work in progress, Disney wouldn't have put it out there in the first place. The trailer, I mean, because why would a big multi-billion dollar company like Disney put out something that isn't finished yet? So yeah, I don't think that the CG is going to get any better. And in terms of the story, in terms of what makes She-Hulk unique as a character, the reason why we love She-Hulk in the first place, aside from the obvious, that's really I don't really see much to get excited about personally. And as for the design itself, it looks good. I can see why people would expect a more muscular version of She-Hulk. I'm sure that would definitely I can definitely see where people are coming from. I think she looks fine the way she is, but perhaps she could be more bulkier. I'm just glad that she isn't the giant, steroid version that we've gotten in the recent comics.
We don't talk about that.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful that she isn't that.
Here's the
So
thing.
yeah, that's all I can say is that I wish it could be I wish I could be excited, but I'm just not.
Here's the thing.
This is why we keep you around, Kaiju.
Yeah.
What for me to rain on everyone's parade?
No.
To be the most logical person out of all of us, while the rest of us be down bad.
We're all thirsty bitches.
I appreciate it, guys.
Here's the thing, though. Muscular women can be portrayed as strong, yet also feminine and beautiful. I need not, highlight China in 2000. She finally had that balance whereby you dare not knock her beer over, but at the same time you're half tempted to buy her one. Same thing with Beth Phoenix. The right balance of strength and power, but at the same time you look and think you're cute too. So this perception that muscular women have to look like men, it's just like, no, let them be strong, but be strong as a woman, because
or if you want to use, or in gaming, how about Samus Aran?
yes
Yeah.
Because she's considered tall and muscular.
Oh God, I was like, why does the name? I'm not a wrestling person, but I was thinking, why does the name China sound familiar? And then I remember a certain news article that featured China in a certain project that I'm not sure I'm allowed to
Yeah. Oh dear.
Speak of the motherfucking devil.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
I've never actually seen it. The only clips I've actually seen is the conversation between Bruce and Jennifer. And to be fair,
Sure you have, MJ. Sure you have.
hey, don't start hating, all right?
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, I never said I was hating.
Well, I just happened to look on this YouTube review where, the reviewer, didn't give it a rate. He sort of looked at it as an oddity. The only scenes he was allowed to show, which for obvious reasons on YouTube, because
the parts that most people skip over.
Yeah. The conversation between Bruce and Jennifer, and he made the point of saying this guy would actually make a decent Bruce Banner. And it's actually interesting to see an adult parody film actually bring in a sensible level of acting, because even I looked at that and thought, okay, I wasn't expecting this from this type of filmmaking, but I thought, no, okay, I could actually see this guy playing a Bruce Banner. And to be fair to China, had she not gone down the route that she went down, I mean, I try not to judge it, because we all know the story of how she was ousted from her contract. By the way, Steph, you did her dirty. Just saying. I get why she did what she had to do. She had to pay the bills and what have you. And even, in her last few years, she didn't want to highlight the work that she did in adult film. She just wanted to be remembered as a wrestler. I mean, she even went over to Japan to be an English teacher. Yeah, she did. Because she went.
What do you know? I share something with China. I never thought I'd say that.
She left America because she had enough of all the drama, and let's not even get into the stuff that she did with X-Pac. That's just no. Yeah, that's like I say, let's just no. And, she went over there just to get away from everything, and she only came back to the States because she felt like enough of the drama had dissolved itself, and she just wanted to try and make something of herself again. I don't know. I felt it was a little bit hypocritical that they announced they would put her into the Hall of Fame after she had passed away, considering, you know, Triple H went behind her back, because they were actually a couple, and then Hunter started dating Stephanie, and then China found out of the blue, and Vince said, well, you know, I'm going to send you home for the remaining 2 months of your contract. And so she basically got cheated out of her living through no fault of her own.
She was champion at the time.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I think last two days was the anniversary of her final match against Lita at Judgment Day.
Wow. Yeah. She, you know, it's very disheartening for someone that physically looks, how do I say this? That someone that looks so strong can be so vulnerable, and be broken on the inside as she was. And I you know, she had every right to feel that way, because her trust in friends and at the time her partner was betrayed. And, you know, I don't blame her for some of the rants she went on, and Triple H saying, oh, she's blown this out of context. Like, sir, I respect you for what you've done, but you had some explaining to do there. Just saying.
See, that was one of the many reasons that even when he, like, you know, had to forcibly retire, I'm like, okay, I respect you for what you've done in the ring, but, like, business-wise, and a lot of times personality-wise, I don't know. It's just, I don't know if I can fully, like, see you as the guy that took NXT out of the water, did his thing, and then, but personal business-wise, you're kind of a dick.
Mm.
I mean, it's business. Everyone's a dick, but, like, I don't know, when you find something that you love and you finally see the outside of it, especially thanks to the Dark Side of the Ring, you know, you tend to look at people differently.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like I say, I could have seen her as She-Hulk if they had done like a combination where they would have, say, an actress smaller than her, and then they'd do like a CG transformation, but then they would do China up like they did Lou Ferrigno up, just putting like prosthetic pieces on her face, along with the nose, forehead piece, and then put a wig on. They could have easily done that, and, you know, to be fair, to this day, Lou Ferrigno is still in amazing shape, but because he'd been bodybuilding since like his early teens, you know, he still has that mental discipline. You know, even though he's retired as a bodybuilder, he still does it every day, because, for one thing, I think the moment you get yourself out of that regimen, it will show, where, you know, you're not as physically toned as you once were. And also, because he's on that discipline of training to a specific time and eating all the right things, he doesn't look his age. I mean, he's in his, mid to late 60s, and he probably looks like he's just barely into his 50s. And say what we will about Cena, but Cena does not look his age either. I mean, all right.
No, he does not.
I mean, he's not a fresh-faced, 25-year young Cena that he was when he broke out onto SmackDown in 2002, but he does not look like a man in his 40s. Although,
On that note, I'm very happy that he's getting the success he's getting,
deserves
especially with
it.
Peacemaker.
Deserves it. Although I feel like with Peacemaker, he kind of says and does a few things like, this is what Ruthless Aggression Cena would have done, but dialed up to 11.
Yeah.
But, like I say, would have been interesting to see her do that type of role, but obviously from, say, someone like Universal or Marvel, because she would have been in like a shoo-in. But, you know, it is what it is. I mean, do we even really know what she passed away from in the end? Was it like depression?
Let me check right quick.
Because I know that they found her in her apartment, like probably days after she had passed away, and you know she'd been leaving like. What happened?
Accidental drug overdose.
But that could have been brought on by depression. Because some people, I mean, like, you look at Robin Williams. He had really chronic depression, and he also had, I think it was also brought on by a little bit of dementia as well. And this is the thing that I like to, not necessarily like to, but I make a point of hammering home. You should never judge somebody if they end their life through depression. Because you'll hear the argument of, oh, they're being so selfish, how could they do that? And I'm like, no, how could you? You didn't know what was going on in their head when they decided to take that. They wanted to end their pain. This is why I don't look at Chester Bennington harshly, because the man had apparently been suffering with depression for years, and he just wanted peace. You know, when people suffer, they just want to see it end. They either want to do away with it, or you get the other people that go through depression. They do the one thing that we all want them to do. They hold their hand out and say, please help me. I am in pain. Please cure my suffering. And I think maybe if Chester and Joni, China's real name, if they had just reached their hand out much sooner, we'd be having a much different conversation about where they are right now. Because, people, if someone ever says they have depression, do not, for 1 second, belittle them or tell them to pull themselves together, because you might think that they're putting on an act or they're just having a lousy day. If someone says they're depressed, trust me, they're depressed. And I would know. I've had family members go through that, and it's nothing to be laughed at. And if you think that's something to be laughed at, and I apologize for what I'm about to say, but shame on you. You never, ever mock somebody that has that type of crippling social anxiety or disease, because depression is disease and is not to be taken lightly. I don't normally speak out of tone like that, but it's when somebody belittles it or takes importance off of it when it should never have that importance taken away. People like that need to be educated.
Yeah, I know the feeling as well.
Yeah.
Some people wants to say, get over it. Like, it ain't that simple, you know. Like, a lot of things
Really
that
isn't.
happens within our lives that we still carry. You know,
Exactly.
It's always going to be there. It's just how you deal with it.
Exactly. Dan has just asked, what are my thoughts on Ugly Sonic from Chippendale? Oh,
kill it with fire! Kill it with fire!
I was surprised they gave him as large of a role as they did in the movie. He's not a one-off cameo, by the way. He's a reoccurring character in this movie.
I know. That's what makes
They even take away
That's what makes it crazy.
I mean, they must have paid Sega and Paramount a fair amount of capital just to...
Dude, Disney paid out the. I feel like I saw them having seen the movie like 2 days ago. They shelled out a lot of money to get a bunch of characters from.
They did. It
Ed
was
Blaster from
crazy.
Transformers.
Dan
He-Man.
Marsh from South Park appears in the movie.
Wow.
They also got DreamWorks characters in that movie. How?
Yeah.
Because to quote my friend, Disney has a lot of fuck you money.
It does.
Much
I'm
money.
like, why waste all this Disney fuck you money?
Characters that I haven't seen in years.
It's like, really, wouldn't you rather want to save this money for like an actual for a Roger Rabbit movie, which people have been asking for decades now?
Right.
You
But no,
forget, it's
waste it on
Disney.
the
They
Chip
don't
and
care.
Dale's movie.
I did
Although,
like
honestly,
I did like the ending though.
Yeah, although honestly,
Like
that's
the
really the
tail
only
end.
thing this movie has going for it, aside from being a decent-ish parody / commentary on Hollywood reboot. It's a Hollywood reboot that makes fun of Hollywood reboots.
Mm-hmm.
Satire.
The whole movie.
I will say though, I found it a little bit tasteless with the whole sweet pea thing, especially
with
what
Peter
they
Pan
did.
and the real life actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of up.
But you can never go wrong with Will Arnett, though.
Yeah.
I know that they featured Gadget like right at the start of the movie, and that was a
She's
character.
at the end as well.
Oh, was she?
Oh
Sweet.
God.
Yeah, it's really funny because it's like she's not a major character in the movie, so it's like they established that Chip and Dale are both very different from their TV show counterparts. So because they introduced Gadget so late in the movie, it's like they make a comment on how she's pretty much the exact same as her TV counterpart. And it's like, I guess it's them kind of winking at the audience. It's like, yeah, we have no time to establish this new character, so let's just make her exactly the way she was in the TV show, make the actress the same as her character.
Yeah, I think I saw a tweet somewhere saying, like, watch Gadget be the villain. I'm like, in joking, I'm like, nah, it's gonna be Zipper.
Funny enough, they ended up making like the most cliche choice as the villain, and then they made fun of the fact that it's the most obvious cliche choice for the villain.
Yeah.
I will say the cell shaded CG the cell shaded animation kind of. I still stand by that. It was just too unsettling to me.
And it's weird because there are several background characters that were traditionally animated, and I kept thinking, why couldn't they look like that?
Right. I will say a couple times. I like how Chip and Dale were arguing and their old voices came out. That had me laughing.
Oh my God.
Also, seeing Voltron.
That was also weird because it's like there's a statue of Voltron in a convention that Dale was at, and I was thinking, wait, so is Voltron like a TV show in this world? But does that mean there's a real Voltron walking around in this world, and is he giant or is he small? What's going on here? How do the rules work here?
What is life?
Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more.
Stop.
We'll move on.
Show me on the side where the movie touched you.
We're gonna move on to
Also,
one more article
yes,
very
I
quickly,
will
'cause that was
agree.
awkward.
I will say though, we all want that Darkwing Duck movie.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
yes, please.
One thing I'm glad they got Jim Cummings back to do the voice.
Yes, because you can't do Darkwing without that. It's like
he also did Pete because Pete showed up for a bit.
Oh shit! Okay.
All right. We'll do one more article, and then I think we'll call it a night. So let's bring this up on the main screen. Okay. Jurassic World Dominion director addresses why there are no more hybrid dinosaurs. While Jurassic World introduced the I-Rex and Fallen Kingdom brought the
Because we
Indoraptor,
killed them all.
there will be no more hybrids in Dominion. The controversy over the appearance of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World's dinosaurs is something that has been debated since the introduction of the franchise, with 1993 Steven Spielberg blockbuster. While the original Jurassic Park movie saw dinosaurs being engineered to look like people expect them to, Jurassic World went one step further, with the park's new owners now creating their own hybrids, including the fearsome I-Rex and the Indoraptor. However, for Dominion, director Colin Farrell has explained why the story of hybrid dinosaurs is over. The Jurassic World franchise opened up a whole new playground of dangerous creatures as the genetic engineering team, led by Jurassic Park's Henry Wu, played by original star B.D. Wong, went about mixing the DNA of different species of prehistoric beasts to create some spectacular but deadly hybrids. As Fallen Kingdom came to a close, the latest of these creations, the Indoraptor, had been defeated and the regular dinosaurs had been released into the world. In Dominion, Colin Trevorrow felt it was time to forget about hybrids, as they didn't fit the narrative. He told SFX magazine, "The idea of hybrids had narratively run its course after the second film. It didn't fit into the reality of the environment we threw our characters in. It's so devoted to the real science that their number one priority would be to make the most paleontological correct dinosaurs as possible. They would not consider making hybrids there. They would look down upon it. I actually like being able to give the characters in the films different perspective and points of view about dinosaurs and how they should be treated in this new reality. The ones in this film, the good guys and the bad guys, one thing they do agree on is that dinosaurs are real and they should be recreating them as accurately as they can." Through the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World franchises, the one thing that has always been a hanging question is what a world with dinosaurs would be like. While Spielberg gave a small glimpse of this with his King Kong-esque ending to The Lost World, which saw a T-Rex wreaking havoc in San Diego, "No, Ruby, I am not going back to that level anytime soon on Evolution 2, stop asking," as it hunted out its kidnapped child, Dominion will be the first movie in the franchise to put humans and dinosaurs together on the planet and see what transpires. Well, I give you the spoiler result ending. We're all screwed. We have already been given a small sample of how life has changed in the years since Fallen Kingdom, with the short film Battle at Big Rock, arriving in 2019 as a teaser for the movie, and of course the trailer showing dinosaurs in the streets and running amok in drive-thru theaters. For many, this is the film that they have wanted to see for decades, and as Jurassic World finally lives up to the promise of the title, bringing back the original franchise stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, means that the gang is all here for one epic summer blockbuster. Jurassic World Dominion premieres in theaters on June 10 next month, one day short of the 29th anniversary of the original.
In 2 weeks.
Okay, I'll stop.
Here's the thing. I get it from the perspective in the story and from the perspective in real life. They had to do something to shake up the franchise, because every once in a while you have to change things in order to keep the audience invested, because otherwise the story becomes monotonous and repetitive, and that's the sort of thing that the MCU could learn from, especially with the Avengers sequels. With Jurassic World, however, I enjoyed that movie for what it is, but I feel like 7 years later, that movie is basically a rehash of the original. The only difference is that the park actually opened and had been open for 10 years. It's just that man decided to play genetic meddling even further, and they opened up a Pandora's box that they couldn't close. Whereas with Fallen Kingdom, they're still going on that military perspective of like trying to create this super dino soldier. I get the idea that a trained predator could save the lives of many soldiers, but here's the thing. When people sign up for the army, they know what they're signing on the dotted line for. You know, they know why they're doing it. And so, and also there was that gaping plot hole where they say, oh, it's 50% Velociraptor and 50% I-Rex, when the I-Rex was made up of partial Velociraptor DNA, so you're just giving it more raptor. You know, that didn't make a lick of sense to me.
It needs more raptor!
I mean... Fallen Kingdom basically did what, as it says in the article, the Lost World teased by actually having dinosaurs on the mainland, except this time they're not going back to Isla Sorna, and they have said they are going to address Site B and why they didn't take the dinosaurs to there, because, and this is something I keep coming back to, the Masrani Corporation said that they, went and raided Isla Sorna and transported them all to Isla Nublar. I have a problem. Where are all the Velociraptors that were there from Jurassic Park 3? Where are the other Tyrannosaurs? And more importantly, where is the Spinosaurus? That's plot holes that you need to address.
Yes.
In this third movie, in this particular trilogy. So I think it's going to be that sense of kind of similar to what the very short-lived vampire TV series V-Wars did. This idea of vampires are real and they've actually been spread as a virus as opposed to biting people. And by the way, these things can go out in direct sunlight, which I'm like, okay, that's different.
We're fucked!
But it's that sense of, okay, they're out in the open, how do we live with this? And it's going to be interesting to see how this movie ends, because Clayton Fiorati, I think it was either Clayton Fiorati or Swerve, who said recently that the ending for season 5 of Camp Cretaceous was the original ending for Dominion. Now,
really?
Yeah, the ending
Oh.
of season 5 is not out until July. So what ending Dominion is getting, I don't know. But then again, this is not the first time an ending to a Jurassic Park movie has ended, because the original ending was going to be the big one. Raptor was going to be cornering Alan Grant and company, and the skull of the T-Rex fossil would have clamped down, and its fossil teeth would have sunk itself into the raptor, impaling it and killing it. But because Spielberg knew that the audience would hate him unless he brought the T-Rex back, is how we got the ending. And it's the exact same thing with The Lost World, because the original ending was going to be they get off the island and encounter some pteranodons, where they end up, it was either they went parasailing off the cliff, escaping the raptors, and then met with pteranodons, or they come in contact with the helicopter and ends up killing the pteranodons. So he went with the King Kong ending by bringing the T-Rex and the infant to the mainland, which from a visual perspective it is a little bit more exciting, but sometimes I wonder how the original endings would have gone. And it would have been interesting to see how the original ending to Jurassic Park 3 would have gone, because, as I stated in the 20th anniversary retrospective, 5 weeks before shooting, they rewrote the entire thing. And that's troubling, because usually if you write a story, the story has to be, penned down, and that's the way you go with it, because movies back then took about at least 2 to 3 years just to bring it to actual fruition. I'm all for making some, say, subtle changes where they say, this character wouldn't say it like that, or let me try and improvise this line to where, it makes a little bit more sense. And 9 times out of 10, the actor's instinct is usually right on the money. But as to what the ending will be for this one, I wouldn't like to say. All I'm saying, as I've said so many times before, because Trevorrow has said this is going to be much more like the original movie, and I'm like, that's a tall order to live up to, considering the only sequel that has come close to matching up to the original is The Lost World. Because Jurassic World, I like to think of it as a fit-for-purpose sequel. It did its job. Fallen Kingdom, meh. Jurassic Park 3, we like to pretend it doesn't exist. So I don't know. It's a tall order to live up to, and I can only imagine what they've got in mind as potential sequels for the future, considering Frank Marshall has said they are already lining up successor Jurassic series for the future. How that will entail, I don't know. I think once you've had dinosaurs loose in the world, unless you turn it into Dino Riders, I don't know. But on that note, I think I've said more than I need to. Stephen, what are your thoughts regarding this?
I think hybrids would be pointless to bring back hybrids at this stage, considering the main issue in this film is how is humanity trying to survive with dinosaurs being released back into the world. It made it very clear from the trailers, and just how are people going to be finding a way to exist together with dinosaurs? That is the more important thing that this story is building in this film.
Yep. And I'm still trying to get over the idea of the Giganotosaurus acting like Jack Nicholson's Joker. I'm like, oh good lord, that's not nightmare fuel or anything.
It's gonna start. I bet you it's just gonna see, and you're gonna hear it growling like it's laughing.
No, it's like this era needs an enema, and then he pulls out a noisemaker.
Madam President, your 2 cents.
I mean, I understand the whole hybrid thing was, I mean, it felt like a logical point to do it at first, but then when you just kept upping the ante to the point where you're combining DNA that should not be combined, I'm like, what the next? Are you going to combine a raptor with a chicken? Because that would make more sense. And it would make delicious chicken nuggets.
Considering Jack Horner's already working on a similar project.
That isn't going anywhere at the moment. By the way, I recently heard a lot of some disturbing things about Jack Horner recently that I don't want to get into now, unless you guys already know.
I know nothing, and I'm living in blissful ignorance.
Okay, good. If you want to, you still wish to respect Jack Horner and not know the creepy sex pervert lunatic that he is. Yeah, just
no. Hey, better say that. Better said off stream.
Yes.
Ignorance gone. Thank you.
In the last 20 years, he went from being one of the most respected paleontologists in the field to now being the laughingstock of the entire field of paleontology.
It's probably why he got replaced as a dinosaur consultant in the last movie.
Anyways, continue.
And blissful ignorance gone. Thank you.
Yes. Out of sight, out of mind.
There we go. But yeah, all in all, again, I'm looking forward to seeing what they're gonna do. But again, I'm glad that they're not doing the whole hybrid thing anymore, because again, the dinosaurs that are out there in the movie are a lot more dangerous than making a new one, which would be stupid. Again, next thing you know, they're gonna try to freaking crossbred humans with dinosaurs, which again, I'm giving them ideas that I should not be doing that. No.
They already tried that for a failed plot for another Jurassic movie, but that went nowhere.
God for that. But yeah, I'm glad that they're kind of doing away with hybrids because again, I don't think they have the time to freaking start meshing DNA when they're being chased by a freaking raptor. Just saying, I don't think they're gonna have the time to do that. When even the person who was kind of technically responsible saying that we shouldn't have done this, yeah, no shit, Sherlock.
Kind of like 30 years too late for that.
Yeah, kinda. But again, I'm glad that they're doing away with hybrids. We don't need them anyway. They look cool, but we don't need them.
Mr. Raiden.
On the real, I'm happy they're not doing any more hybrids because that's what killed the franchise, in my honest opinion. So for what it's worth, I saw a little bit of the trailer, and I'm slightly impressed. No, but cool that Owen is basically, interacting with the old cast. So I'm still not gonna see it in theaters, but I hope nothing was the best for it. I don't know. My favorite Jurassic Park movie will always still be Lost World because, by its problems, I felt like it got things a little bit right, especially with the T-Rex basically invading the city. And I feel like they're doing this to the max. So I just hope for the best for this. That's all it is too. And if someone is still in there, Daniela Pineda, how you doing? I might check it out later. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you and Lids at the bar, I'll be like, why are you two here? We saw Daniela Pineda. Ah, you're thirsty. Right, here's your drinks. Dr. Kaiju Noir, your expertise opinion.
I mean, I can only wonder why the director even stated why there were going to be no more hybrid dinosaurs. Like, who the fuck was asking him why there were no more hybrids? I feel like it's obvious why there's no hybrid because that idea has been run into the fucking ground at this point. It was already played out, and it was already like the concept was already played out by the time they rehashed it for the last movie, Fallen Kingdom. And I don't know. For me, it was kind of interesting for hybrids to be in the story. It kind of reminded me of that old toy line, Jurassic Park Chaos Effect. But it ultimately didn't really serve any purpose other than to be like the prototype for that ridiculous plot thread within the last two movies of having genetically engineered dinosaurs for war. So I don't know if they're most likely still going to try to run with that idea for this new one. Who knows? But I can definitely sense some PR bullshit when I see it, when he's saying, oh, we didn't have any hybrids because this new movie's devoted to the real science, which is their number one priority, to make the most paleontological correct dinosaurs as possible, which is so full of horseshit given that the paleontology community online has been pointing out numerous factual errors within the trailers alone for what's it called, Dominion. Like, for instance, the Quetzalcoatlus, that's like way bigger than it actually was, or the Pyroraptor that's swimming in frozen water. It's just like, for them to say, oh, we're trying to make the most scientifically accurate dinosaurs possible, it's such a obviously fake PR statement to make, given how these movies have laughed in the face of scientific accuracy. You can make the argument, yeah, sure, the dinosaurs were never all that scientifically accurate to begin with, going back to the original Jurassic Park, where they made the velociraptors way bigger and the Dilophosaurus way smaller, on top of adding that poison spitting ability. But at the very least, I feel like the original Jurassic Park films at least strove to update people's perceptions of dinosaurs, whereas these Jurassic World movies are nothing but big, dumb action movies that treat the dinosaurs as nothing more than movie monsters, when that was never the point of the original film. They're not monsters, they're animals. But of course, these people don't care. They just want their big, dumb CGI blockbuster action movie and for simple popcorn entertainment. So I just kind of get upset when I see them saying, "Oh, we're trying to do this for the sake of science and paleontology and making that our number one priority." It's like, cut the bullshit, okay? You don't want to do hybrids because it's played out, and now you want to have dinosaurs run amok like it's that trading card that trading card series, Dinosaurs Attack. That's what you want to do. You want to make a live action adaptation of Dinosaurs Attack. So yeah, that's really my take on this news. It's just a load of PR horseshit, I think. And yeah, I'm still not impressed, nor am I excited at all to see the new Jurassic Park Dominion or Jurassic World Dominion.
Fair enough.
I'll be waiting for Prehistoric Planet on Apple Plus. Thank you very much. Have you guys seen the trailers for that?
I have.
It looks amazing.
Yep.
It honestly feels like the successor we've desperately needed for Walking with Dinosaurs.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right, folks. That will do it for this week. Thank you to everyone who was patient getting a slightly late start. The only reasons for the late start is I tried to raise the morale a little, because some people are a little bit affected by the news of Austin St. John's involvement with the controversy that has surrounded him at the moment. And as I stated at the beginning, we're not taking an official stance on this. We're just going to wait and see how this unfolds, and then we'll give our thoughts on it. At the moment, we're just staying neutral about it until we see all the facts presented to us and what have you. And as a means of trying to get the morale up, I showed Raiden and Lids, what if Goku and Vegeta were black Part 4, and Lids had so many questions. Raiden had to be rushed to the oxygen ward.
Yeah.
I lost my breath for 5 seconds.
For context, what had Lids amused and confused? Shenrong turned into Shen Huan. Complete with stereotypical Mexican mustache, music, and a mariachi hat. And I'm like, SSJ? What the hell? I had like a preconceived conception where Liz would have been like, I am amused and officially offended.
I am amused and mildly offended, but not too bad. I've literally seen worse.
Yeah, we've been the butt of jokes for so long that we've become numb to most of it.
Pretty much.
I thought that was bad. Should have seen the battle rap between Sonic and Goku. Oof.
No.
So yeah, basically try to raise morale and what have you. And SSJ is just such a funny parody content creator. Just a quick heads up, I'll leave his channel link in the chat below. Hang on. Help if I could spell. Let's see. Find yeah, if I just leave his channel link in there, because I'm not going to have it on here because certain words come out in some of his videos. I'm like, yeah, I think Twitch might have a slight problem with that, so leave that as you will. So until next week, I have been the Knight, saying good night from the night, and next week will be the preview of the 15th anniversary of Spider-Man 3.
Yay! Wait, what?
Yes.
And don't forget to check out Kaiju Noir's books. If you'd like to take it away, Kaiju?
Yes, you can check out issues 1, 2, and 3 of Primal Warrior Draco Azul, available in physical and digital formats over on Amazon, Kindle, and Comixology. Also look forward to my anthology book, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Full Metal Chronicles. And I look forward to 2 upcoming novels, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Soulless Blood, and Atomic Rex, Ballad of Bravura, which is co-written by me and Atomic Rex creator and kaiju novelist Matthew Denian. Also look forward to seeing yours truly over at Heroes Con on June 24th through the 26th, as well as G-Fest from July 15th through the 17th, and at All Monsters Attack from September 9th to September 11th. And for any and all future updates on my projects, you can follow me on Twitter at PW_Draco Azul, Facebook at Primal Warrior Draco Azul, Instagram and YouTube at Kaiju Noir. Instagram and YouTube at Kaiju Noir.
And don't forget to check out Oni Rikaku on twitch.tv/Oni Rikaku.
Give him lots of bits and subscriptions.
Indeed.
Raiden.
Oh, subscribe to our Twitch channel so we can get rich and famous and get all the money.
And check out MJ Knight's Teespring page.
Thank you, Stephen. So, have a great night, folks. Just as a reminder, because Kaiju wasn't 100% clear on the start times of the show. When it is my downtime from work, it is at the former time of 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. UK Standard Time. But when I'm at work, it's from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. That's a little thing I need to correct in the graphics on there. And yeah, that's basically it. So that would be 10 a.m. start time from Pacific Standard Time. So, thank you for this week. At some stage, I think we need to consider when the season finale will be for this season, because it's usually around this time we think about wrapping up for the summer break. But we'll get to that when we do. So, thank you, everyone. Have a great Sunday evening. And thank you for inviting us into your laptops, personal computers, smart TVs, smartphones, and even onto your tablets. Thank you for your time, and good night from the night.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.